Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you can't tell, we are pulling the 48 out from UCC. So just a precursor, this thought kept playing over and over in my head when I see guys complaining about not being able to compete because of their circumstance, or they don't own a shop or anything. I always think of the line from Iron Man where it's like Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave. Like, we were able to win UCC out of a 2-car garage. So, no excuses, make it happen. This is how I pull them in the driveway. Honestly, kind of sketch, but for right now, this is how we're gonna have to do. We are trying to figure out some concrete to be able to put a lift in, but that is not going to be about this video. But that's how I pull them. I pull them with the T-case and the 48 attached. This is a great way to do it if you are by yourself. And then once it's out, we'll slide the T-case off, makes it manageable, pull the converter out, makes it manageable, and then we will get this thing inside of the teardown bench. We are getting ready for diesels in the mountain, and I am curious, you guys heard in that dyno clip, I'm sure, if you not, I'll put it up again, the engine RPM accelerated much faster than the rollers, so something slipped through this drivetrain. Now, we are pretty certain it wasn't our tires, okay? We are also pretty certain the engine didn't have any issues. So we are gonna go ahead and pull this stuff apart and see. I think some of it got lost in the lockup clutch, and I don't care who makes your torque converter. That is always a possibility. We run the WP Development quad disc 35 spline. This one is a 17 minus 250 from Ethan, spools up great. I started running his converters beginning of this year. So far, it's been awesome as far as racing goes. Then you have your forward clutch, which is the rearward clutch. I know that doesn't make sense. It's the 4 in here. Then you have your direct clutch, which also has to hold. I believe this one has 7 in it. And then you have your overdrive brakes, which also have to hold. So I'm curious, maybe we did this for nothing, but we're traveling a distant ways. We have a few dyno events back to back to back. I want to do all this. Ethan sent out a converter. We're going to go ahead and send this one back to him, have it checked. Again, we sled pulled on all of this stuff perfectly fine, and everything held. We had good line pressure, stuff like that. So again, we might not find anything. It might just be, hey, like, that is what it is. Some of it might get lost in the stall speed, stuff like that. But we are going to pull this apart. That is the purpose of this video. We'll take this apart and see the last little bit of carnage from UCC 2025, right? You guys saw the engine. Drivetrain really didn't suffer any issues. This is really the last piece. So we're going to pull this into the transmission area, get it torn apart, get it refreshed, and get it stabbed back in. Okay, folks, so as you can see by the fluid, very red. It's got some debris in it. I won't lie to you. We're going to go ahead, get you set up on the tripod. Me and Little Man are going to get this thing torn down. Now, we're not doing a, well, I guess it depends on what we see, but I'm hoping to do minimal tear down on this. Like, I want to pull the clutch packs apart, double check it, just kind of give it a brake cleaner baptism, so to speak, fix what we need to fix, and then move on. And that's kind of the goal for today. Just fix what tore up. Okay, folks, so as you can see, we got torn down. Band looks great. We still got to take the pump apart. Low reverse band drum looks fine. Be able to reuse that. Our direct drum looks okay. I might just kind of rescuff it. But holy cow, did the directs, that is your third gear clutch, took an absolute beating. I'm wondering if this is what caused the slip. Honestly, this right here, I mean, that would do it for sure, because I'm sure it slipped a little bit on the first dyno hit, and then it probably slipped again, and then we sled pulled on it. So this does not have very much runtime at all on this. This is 2 dyno hits and a sled pull, and these are smoked. And then our forwards look great. We could reuse them. Overdrives, there's a couple of steals, but you guys do recall we did rebuild this several times in the pits. Other than that, everything looked great. I'm not even going to pull apart our intermediate assembly. It's fine. You guys can see there our input shaft is not twisted. I'm curious, the pump I'm assuming is fine. I will pull it apart to double check. Honestly, for dynoing, I'm going to put this band right back in. That'll be fine. Just to reuse that band. That'll get reused. We'll reuse our drum. We'll change out these. I'll probably just put new forwards in. I'll measure them and see how much they have fallen apart. And then our our overdrives, I will measure, but more than likely we'll replace, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steels, maybe some frictions. The machine plate looks fine. And guys, before I get a bunch of people running in the comments, this is a full thickness reaction plate. It's not stepped, okay? Full thickness. So we ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the direct, full reaction plate, TCS drum, billet piston. Looks like we're running a couple more springs. Not really though. Looks like we did 2, skip 1, but either way, that is impressive. So all this transmission's got to do is dyno, which does put some wear and tear on the clutch holding, but it's not so much timing. Meaning, like if the 2-3 flares or the 2-3 binds, it really doesn't matter because you're just trying to get it up in gear. But that is wild, absolutely wild. But like I said, between maybe this and the converter, we won't know. We're gonna ship the converter out. Good buddy Ethan, I asked him, he's like, yeah, send it in. We'll cut it open, see what it looks like in there. So I won't have a definitive, this is it, but man, that is really bad. So yeah, we are gonna go ahead and brake cleaner baptism and everything. All I do for that, just like the name entails, brake clean everything, put it all back together. We're probably gonna pull the pistons out of all these to make sure we get all the debris out. I'm not gonna pull the servos. I'm gonna back flush them. What I mean by that is we'll pull our MPT ports out and spray brake cleaner in there to get them drained out. The second gear servo is not too bad. This one is an absolute nightmare, so I try not to pull it if I don't have to. And yeah, not bad. And all in all, parts wise, we got a $100 gasket kit. We probably got $200 in frictions, and that's about it. And then we'll have to put obviously new fluid and new filter. So I would say roughly $300-400 refresh, just on parts, not including labor. Then we'll have probably $600 with the converter. Hey, can we stop doing that, dude? You're making a mess. Did you like tearing it apart?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been organizing our bolts. So without further ado, I'm gonna get this put back together and you guys can watch me stack it up. So Tony Stark was building stuff in a cave, and we went to Harbor Freight to machine this piston down. So now we're trying to true this up. God. With jaws that do not actually hold this piston. So if you're trying to do this at home, would not recommend. Would not recommend. Really dialing it in over here, guys. I would just like to point out that my wife said that I can get a lathe. her words were, as long as we can afford it. Those are dangerous words. What about a new truck, babe?
Sure, babe.
So anyway, we're just trying to dial this in so that way this lathe cuts somewhat true. And it wouldn't truly be a Harbor Freight machining experience, guys, if we were also not using a Harbor Freight dial indicator and Harbor Freight magnetic box. Okay, we're within a half a thou, guys. So now we're gonna go ahead. I can't wait till this thing goes absolutely flying. I would also like to say that my dad said not to purchase this lathe. However, when you're trying to machine a piston on a holiday weekend and your only option is Harbor Freight, you know? Listen. Wife's on camera duty.
Wait. Did I just close my eyes?
Yeah, safety squints. Oh my God. Go like this.
What happens when we're balling on a budget?
Oh, we are. Okay, just a slight problem that we did not anticipate. However, I do have a plan for that. So we gotta go over here to our super nice precision mini lathe machining kit here, guys. And precision, okay? It's on the box. Also, to the Harbor Freight guy that sold me this lathe and had to go on the walkie-talkie to get somebody in the back room to go grab the precision mini lathe, and he said all of that with a straight face. I commend him, because that is impressive. Now, if you guys do recall, I am a certified machinist from my power-driven diesel days, and the one thing I do remember about the mini lathe, number one, this is the most dangerous lathe known to mankind. Number two, you can't speed shift it. Oh God, our dial indicator fell apart. Rattled the bolts right out of this sucker. Will all be dipped. Dang, where'd they go? Did you see any bolts go flying?
I was squinting.
Safety squints? Oh, there's one. All right, we'll have to put that back. But guys, we are in there like swimwear. We are trying to make a machine down piston so we could try something different in the direct. You guys saw that damage in there. So 68, probably take this down to a hundo. So we got 68 thousandths to remove. Honestly, not bad. I've seen worse. Alright, so we are 130. I mean, 34. 34. I mean, she's cooking. Cooking with gas. Man, that is some chip buildup though. What do you think, babe? What did we start at? Do you remember? Oh God, that was a mistake. Definitely should have kept track of that. You know the old measure once, cut twice? Yep, didn't do that. So I've spent the last couple of hours trying to figure out how to make this work. But I think I have finally got it figured out. So we machined, I think it was like 40 thousandths off the piston. And that was all fine and dandy. Except we machined the tangs off. So before I TIG welded these little nubs on here, this piston could just spin, which doesn't sound like a problem until you apply this clutch and then it wants to spin, or it spins a little, gets stuck under the fingers. So then I was like, okay, I'll TIG weld it, as you guys can see there. Well, I didn't TIG weld it far enough. It could still clock over and get jammed. So I kind of machined the nubs down. But either way, you now have a piston that goes in and out. And yeah, that's your lesson. That welder, although I was having fun on video, giant pile of junk. So this plate is 6.875 inches. It doesn't really fit. So I did crate it back up. I'm going to see if they'll take it back. I'm going to be honest and tell them I used it, but I'm also going to be honest and tell them it was a giant pile of junk. But yeah, we got the pump rebuilt, input shaft redone, overdrive back on, servos back in, accumulator back in, intermediate, planetary assembly. So literally all we're waiting on is this. Now, as you can tell by all the stuff happening over here, we exhausted every option. The problem is I have this stock drum. It doesn't look great. The problem with the stock drums is at high RPM, they can fly apart. So that's why these billet drums, that's another reason why we switched to these billet drums, because they are a little nicer. So either way, we have a piston. I really hope it holds. I'm not even going to text anybody, ask them. We're just going to send it. I looked at like the Go-Rend that come with the 35 splines. I mean, they have minimal nubs. There's only 2 nubs. I did check. This steel won't fit. Let me find one with some. So if you guys are curious, these steels that are missing nubs, they sit right in here. On this one, it's weird. It's actually not fitting. Might have to clearance that even more. Yeah, we just might. Just when we thought we solved the problem, guys, back to the drawing board we go. Do I recommend you do this? Probably not. Am I going to do it? Yep. So we just kind of ground our flats down. That should now sit in there. So I'm going to go ahead, kind of assemble this piston now that it can't get caught. I tried jamming it as hard as I could. Nothing gets caught under the lip. So we're going to call that good enough. And we'll use this steel. This will be our first one. Well, guys, we're going to probably shut it down for the night. I think it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to sleep on this and come back tomorrow. Crazy how a 1-day job turns into a 2-day job real quick. But I was talking to a couple guys. I was talking to Meyer, talked to Ethan. I talked to Alex at Cornerstone Transmissions as well. And you start to realize there's not a lot of people to talk to. And I'm not saying that there aren't other people, but those are just people that I know. And you start to realize I was talking to my dad, like, you're kind of on the ragged edge of anything. So we're going to try something much different than I have ever tried. If it works, cool. If it doesn't work, I guess we'll go back. But Ethan pointed out something very interesting to me, was that all of the steels, like the further in the pack, it's almost like they acted like a Belleville spring. They were wearing real funny. So I did find that interesting. So we're trying to stiffen up the pack quite a bit, and give it more rigidity. But we wanted to be able to put clutches in there, extra clutches as well. So that's why we ended up machining that piston down. And then obviously, as you guys can tell, I machined it too far, which is interesting because I started machining it, couldn't get a hold of Meyer, finished machining it, and Meyer's like, you should probably measure, make sure you don't go too far. And I was thinking he meant the input shaft hub, right? So like that hub right there, But now I understand what he meant, because you can actually machine it too far where the piston doesn't engage the drum slots anymore. So, you know, chalk it up to a learning experience. Like I said, I'm gonna sleep on it. Bad part about this, it's a holiday weekend, so it's either we run that drum, we run a stock drum, or I overnight a drum on Tuesday, which means I'll get it Wednesday, which means I'll get this built Wednesday night, which means I won't get it installed till Friday. And I got my little girl's 7th birthday coming up, so I'm not sure. Part of me wishes we would have pulled this out a long time ago. The other part of me likes that we waited, because now it forced me to be reliant on just the stuff I had here. And yeah, Harbor Freight mini lathe, little TIG welder. We'll see. Alrighty, folks, and after a quick air check and everything, we can throw the valve body in. We'll pick this up when we go throw it under the truck. But we got everything done. Yeah, fun times. Okay, so we had the wife come out and help us get this girl stabbed. She helped me line it up. Got it put back on. All of our sensors, shifter cable, cross member, drive shafts, all of it. Now, I am gonna end this video off here. You guys have seen me dump transmission fluid in, I'm sure, a number of times at this point. About 18 quarts on this system. We'll throw probably about 12, 13 in. We already got one in the converter, and we will move on from there. Fire it up 8 seconds and then top it off as needed. Right around 16 on this is usually a good spot to start checking the dipstick. Doesn't really help you guys at home because every setup with the coolers and lines and stuff, it does end up being different. But we got it refreshed. We're gonna try this new 3rd gear clutch setup, see if it holds for diesels in the mountain. Yeah, so anyway, hopefully we see you guys there again. It's the 12th and 13th. I talked to Brighton a couple days ago. The 13th is the dyno day for myself, and I'm sure like Spencer at Darkside, Jake at JBJ, Randy's truck if they finish it. I'm not sure if Brighton's new truck will be done, but Bridger's truck will be out there. I know Myers dynoing as well. So hopefully you see you guys there. Give this one a big thumbs up. Drop your comments down below. Subscribe if you are not already. And as always, I will catch y'all on the next one.